Hey, I'm Erik from GameEnthus.com. In this video, I'm talking about Distilled and the Distilled Africa Middle East expansion. But it's still distilled. It's all distilled. Distilled is a pressure luck income and market set collection game designed by Dave Beck with art from Erik Evensen. Plays 1 to 5 players and was published by Paverson Games. I have a lot to say about how this game works. And you're going to listen, hopefully, please. Okay, this is a somewhat truncated setup for Distilled. I know using the word truncated seems funny in that, you're going to have, we have the scoring board here. You have the premium market here. You have the basic market here. These are just more labels because your tasting flight will indicate which labels that you put up here for players to get, and those labels eventually end up on your personal player board. So everything here is pretty much communal, and then the flight, your personal player board, which is really your distillery, and then the character that you pick is going to be personal to you. Those are your own things. Everything else here, these communal scoring ribbons and the money and the recipe cubes, all that stuff is communal. So there's a lot going on here. It's not a how to play. There's a lot going on here, and unlike most of the videos I do, this will not be a how to play. This will be just kind of an overview of how the game works, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts are. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot going on here, but I'm going to try to. I don't want to say the name of the game, but that's that is the verb I'm thinking. I'm going to try to distill it down to something that sort of makes sense. So the backdrop is every player is essentially an individual who inherits a distillery, and they, by default, the only things you know how to make are moonshine and vodka, which do give you a little bit of money, but aren't worth that many points. Learning how to make things like kachaka, soju, gin, whiskey, rum, baijiu, and brandy are harder, require you to learn how to do them, in addition to providing you an increasing number of points. So, like kachaka, you start off and it's worth 4 points in the game. These are all victory points. But if you learn how to make brandy, it's worth 13 points. Also, you don't have to go top to bottom. You can learn whatever you want. It's just the requirements. It requires more. And then some things like the whiskey, the rum, the brandy have to be aged in a wooden barrel. And that's another factor in terms of how you make things. So like I said, there's a lot going on, but essentially you are acquiring basic ingredients in the basic market, or premium ingredients that cost a bit more. Some of the sugars here cost more because there's grain sugars, plant sugars, and then fruit sugars. But yeah, so you have premium items, which are more sophisticated, more expensive ways to store your alcohol or serve it, if you will, different types of bottles. You have different types of fruit, grain, and plant sugars that are going to be in the stack as well. So juniper berries, rye, potatoes, sorghum. Everybody loves sorghum. I mean, I just grow sorghum here. Anyway, and then you have distillery upgrades. So you have 3 slots for you to upgrade your distillery. So on your distillery, you can upgrade it. I should probably put the character I have in the office there. So you have 3 slots where you can hire different specialists to come in, which have certain bonuses and perks, and you can also get new equipment, but you only have 3 slots, so you have to choose wisely. And there's a cost to hiring most of them, and many of them have a scoring condition. So for this specialist, it's a glass blower, and it's going to cost 3 coins to hire them and bring them into your distillery. Sorry, the colors are a bit off, but there's a question mark here for the victory points because they earn 1 point for each region represented in your displayed bottle collection. So some different types of bottles definitely have a cultural aspect and a country of origin if you will. So for that particular specialist, that's somebody who will be interested in you having different types of, different types of glass bottles that will pertain to them. And then another example. So we have the natural spring here. So this one provides 1 point for each of your equipment distillery upgrades. You get 1 point for each other upgrade you have. And it's going to cost $4 to bring, I guess you bring in water from a natural spring, which is, hey, nothing wrong with that. So they have a start a round effect. That's what a little on and off symbol means. So when a round starts, you can add a basic water to your pantry. And this is your pantry down here. The character that I selected, a lot of green on that card, obviously, but Ioana Perry de Sousa, her special ability is she can sell any non-aged spirit for an additional coin. That's good. Yeah, I like that. And every character has a bit of a description about them, and they have a special recipe that they can make. So hers is a particular type of kachaka. I know you can't see that at all. Look a little better there, but there's a lot of green on it. So, which requires plant sugar. However, each character does come with a signature ingredient. This happens to be her signature ingredient, which is sugarcane juice. But you can use any for making her signature recipe, which is unique to her. Only she can make it. You just need sugarcane. So there are sugarcane in the premium ingredients. There are sugarcane in the premium ingredients, but if you do happen to make a particular brand of alcohol, be it moonshine, vodka, or any of the others, you would take one of these once you've made it, and then this area in your distillery has 7 spots for different perks. So you either get the perk as described or get 2 points at the end of the game. So you could put the vodka on to this one, which means move signature ingredient to pantry. So what that means is her signature ingredient, you don't have to get it from any of the marketplaces here. It just it would stick around, I guess, if you will. It's also worth 4 points at the end of the game. So you can move that into your pantry, and then that could be part of your batch making. I know that I'm saying a lot of things. Everybody also would get some distillery goals, and you would be working on those goals until you get down in between rounds 3 and 4. Might be hard to see, but you have to discard one of them, and you obviously discard the one that you are the least likely to complete. And then at the end of every round, players would also be vying for these awards here. So this one says Globetrotter, collect 3 labels, collect 3 spirit labels from 3 different regions. So the regions in the base game are the Americas. The regions in the base game are the Americas, Asia, and Oceania, and Europe. And there's I'll put it in between here. So there's a stack of different characters you can pick who all have their own signature recipe, in addition to having a power, a perk, if you will. You can read the ones that Nisha and you read the ones that these 2 characters have here. So during the market phase, you may buy up to 3 cards from the basic market instead of 2. That is really a nice perk. And this one is once per market phase, discount 1 basic card by $1 or a coin, excuse me. So characters start off with a certain number of coins. They have their signature ingredient. They have their signature recipe, which goes to the bottom of their tasting flight. The only thing they can make by default, the only thing everybody can make by default is moonshine and vodka, because moonshine is just alcohol. Vodka is alcohol with at least 1 sugar. Doesn't matter if it's grain, plant, or fruit. Does not matter. And everybody would start off with a metal barrel and a glass bottle. So something to store it in. Can't age it though. That's why it has the aging symbol crossed out. You need a wooden barrel for that, a wood barrel. And then, so you can store something in a metal barrel and you can sell it in a glass bottle. And these would just stick around in your storeroom, which goes in your distillery. So how a turn works. So the first phase is the market phase, which is done in clockwise order. The market phase is done in player order, so one at a time. And you would just go around allowing everybody to take that action until everybody decides to pass. And then that phase is over. So for your first turn, you might say, well, hey, let me make some moonshine because it's worth 2 coins, or let me make some vodka. In addition to gathering ingredients, you can also, I guess you're learning. So you can pay someone thematically, I guess, to teach you how to make certain things. That's where these cubes come into play. So you have bronze, silver, and gold. So the kachaka and the soju are bronze. The gin, the whiskey, and the rum are silver. And then the baijiu and the brandy are gold. What that means is they're going to cost a certain amount of money. So to learn something that's bronze costs 2 coins, silver 4 coins, and then gold is 6 coins. So it costs you more to learn how to make something that's more intricate. And that makes sense. If I want to learn how to make kachaka, I could spend 2 coins, and then I'll just place this cube there, which is a visual to me, letting me know that now I know how to make this going forward. I haven't made it yet. I just know how to make it. So, we'll get there eventually. So those are things you can do in a market phase. So you can learn and buy. The cubes are just over there in the display. The cubes are just here in the tray along with coins. You're just spending money just to put them in the slots, which are an indicator of things that you now know how to make and can make, because you can't make something before you learn how to do it. You can't accidentally make, even if you have the ingredients for rum and a wood barrel, you can't accidentally make rum unless you can't really make rum until you learn how to make rum, regardless of the ingredients you have. So let's say I want to keep it simple. I want to either make vodka or moonshine. I want to at least be able to make vodka or moonshine, which means I'm going to need a type of sugar. So let's say for my first marketplace turn, I just get some grain sugar, and they cost nothing. Plant and fruit sugars cost 1 and 2 coins respectively. And there's some other barrels and things. So these are clay barrels. This is a whole stack full of clay barrels, and then a wood barrel if you want to store something or you want to age it. And aging is the whole thing where you're adding different flavors, and there's a whole deck of flavor cards that can offer different amounts of money. Sometimes the aging doesn't go well. Like this one says skunky, so this did not work out well. Yeah, that either the rating is really low, and yeah. So for each round that you have something in your warehouse, which is these 2 spots here, you would have all the ingredients underneath whatever wooden barrel, whatever barrel it's in, and then each round you would tuck another flavor card under that stack. You don't know what it is. You just take it from the top of the flavor deck and just kind of stack it under it, hoping that it's one that gives you a bunch of coins. So when you do sell it, the victory point value goes up for every round it's aged. So if you age up to 5 rounds, that's an extra 15 points. 4 is 10 points, so on and so forth. But you can earn more coins for selling it if the flavors that you're adding over time provide you a good number of coins. So you're earning points and potentially some more money to buy more ingredients to make more things. So yeah, or learn more things as well. So let's say my turn. First thing I did, you can only buy 2 of these per round, so you can't just go nuts. There are obviously some exceptions. Like I showed you, one of the characters, she's able to purchase 3 things in the basic market. You can buy as many things, I think, as you can afford from the premium market, but the basic is just 2. Let's say everybody else goes, it comes back around to my turn. So I have a grain here. Let's say, okay, I'm going to get some yeast as well. So those are two things I got from here. So I can't do anything else here. I'm done here. It goes around. Everybody else takes their turns. So now the market phase has come to an end. Everybody has bought the ingredients they want, hired people, done whatever it is they need to do. When you hire people or get equipment, you would put it on this top row. So now the market phase, cleanup happens. So you discard the last, okay, at the end of the market phase, you discard the last card. I did that wrong. You discard the last card here and kind of replenish it a bit. Now the distill phase, which happens concurrently. Everybody does this. So you take your ingredients. We're just going to pretend that instead of taking a mixed grain sugar, I got a water. And when you buy a water, you reveal the top card of the marketplace deck to everybody. You can purchase it or something like that. So when you get a water, all the waters do this. When you purchase it, it doesn't cost you anything. You reveal the top card of any market deck. Well, let me shift this over. Sorry. Any market deck, and then you can purchase it if you wish. If you don't purchase it, you tuck it back to the bottom of the respective deck. Let's say I did that, and I have like no money. And then to hedge my bets, I also bought rye. So okay, so I have rye. So I have 2 sugars and yeast and water. When the distill phase starts, players are allowed to. You can trade anything you have with something in the basic market. If you bought the wrong thing, it gives you another chance to do something. So you add 1 alcohol. So you kind of divide things up. So your washback is where you put your sugars. It's probably hard to see there. So I'm gonna put my 2 grain sugars here. The yeast, the symbols are here too. The yeast goes here and water goes here. So for every sugar you add into your batch, if you will, and I'm going to get that. And as I said earlier, I don't know anything about alcohol. I don't really drink very often. I know nothing. So if I'm using terminology wrong, forgive me. For every sugar, you add alcohol. Okay, and I have a barrel ready, a metal barrel, and a glass bottle ready. So you take everything up that you put in there. Now, you don't have to put everything in it, but you have to have at least 1 card. You have to have at least a yeast, at least water, and at least 1 sugar to make anything. And everybody does this themselves. And if it's just 3 cards, you could give it to somebody else. Let them shuffle it for you if you don't trust yourself. But so you shuffle it all up. Okay. Then representing, I guess, the header and the footer, whatever it is, you take the top card out and the bottom card out. So that kind of gets removed. And I think those go back into your pantry, and then you'd see what you have left over. Ooh, boy. What I have left over is water, yeast, and 2 alcohol. So all the sugars got removed, unfortunately. So what that means is all I have is, I can make a moonshine. That's what I made. So that is what during the distill phase, that's what I made. And I basically made a moonshine. So I would take one of the labels here. It'll be a stack. I just have 1 up for an example. And then I can pick any one of these 7 bonuses to do. So I can do 1 free upgrade. I believe from anything that's out here. 1 free upgrade from my distillery. 1 free premium item that's out here. 1 free recipe. So I could just learn something for free. I think. Just learn something for free. 1 free premium ingredient. I can discard 1 card from the pantry and take anything from the truck. That's the discard pile. I can move my signature ingredient into my pantry, which means I can move my sugarcane juice into my pantry for future distilling. Or I could just earn 5 coins right now, and then for all of them, the alternative is 2 points. I'm gonna do the free upgrade. So let me see here. Okay, so if I do the free upgrade, I'm gonna upgrade to the natural spring. And what that enables me to do is that means that at the beginning of a round, I can just take a water. So because you can only take two things in the basic market, I could just take a water, which means I could focus on yeast and a sugar. The other thing is, if you happen to shuffle up and alcohol ends up being what is in the head or the foot or the head or whatever it is, the stuff that you remove. If that happens to be there, alcohol is kind of a wild. Alcohol can be a water if you need it to be, or a yeast and alcohol. So you could use it as, so if you didn't have a water, one of your alcohols, if you already had it, could be a water or a yeast if you need it. But now I have a natural spring, I can always get at least one water, which is nice. So I can focus on the yeast or the sugars or one of the basic clay barrels or wood barrels. So that's good to know. All right, so that happened. So then the sell phase, and you do this in player order, much like you did the market phase turn in player order. So it happens clockwise, and you sell one spirit per turn. You score the points and claim whatever spirit label bonus. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm supposed to have sold it first. Excuse me. So you sell it first, then I would have done this, but that's okay. I'm not doing this now anyway, but so the sell phase is you score the points. So moonshine means I score 1 point. This is the scoring tracker here, and this is the scoring tracker. So I move up to 1 and it goes up to 50, but then you have these. So flip it over, and then, if you go past 50 or past 100, or wow, you're pretty good at this game. And then you claim any money. So moonshine was 1 point and 2 coins. So I'll just take 2 coins. And then you go to the age phase, which deals with things in the warehouse in a wood barrel. But at the beginning of the game, nobody's going to have that. I mean, early on, people probably aren't going to have that, but eventually they will. And you do the age phase, meaning you're adding the flavors to things that you have aged. And at the end of the round, you would check the spirit awards to see if anybody's earned these. And if you didn't sell anything, you are able to trade in points for coins. You can trade up to 4 points for 4 coins. So it's a sort of catch-up mechanic where you're losing points, which win you the game, but you're getting money, which opens up opportunities for the subsequent rounds. And there's only 7 rounds. So you don't have a whole lot of time to make your choices. You have to figure out kind of what you're working with, and which of these secret objectives that you're really going to focus on, which of the spirit awards you can achieve. And also, a lot of the cards just have points on them. So at a certain point, if you have a bunch of money, maybe you're focusing on, hey, I'll just acquire this thing. If it works out, if I make something, with these grapes, great. But if not, they're worth 4 points into the game. Because at the end of the game, you're counting up. You would add all the values of all the cards you have, of ingredients that you've accumulated. Your distillery goals, spirit awards, all that kind of stuff. So all those things add up, and that is a really, really quick overview of the sort of the flow of the game. You go through those 4 phases, and market, distilling, selling, aging, and it can kind of go by pretty fast. Also, solo mode. 3 regions of the base game are Europe, the Americas, and Asia and Oceania. However, the expansion, Africa, Middle East, adds some more characters here from the continent of Africa and some places in the Middle East, like Tunisia, Lebanon, the UAE, and Cape Verde. And then places like South Africa and Ghana. It also adds more ingredient cards that are things that are specific to those parts of the world. Different type of alcohol as well. Different storage options, which is nice too. So, in addition to all that, you also have, the expansion just adds more of everything, really. So more equipment, more flavors for things that are being aged, more sugars, Expansion also adds more labels. It also adds cards that are double sugars, which is kind of nice. It counts as 2, which I like. So for 1 card that you're putting in, you can put in 2 alcohol, which is pretty cool. More spirit awards, more distillery goals, and it's more tasting flights that, of course, include the different labels that come with the expansion. So expansion doesn't necessarily add anything more mechanically, but it just adds more variety. And like I said, the double sugar and double ingredients are pretty cool as well. So yeah, that is a kind of a long overview, but hopefully I touched upon the major points in the game of Distilled and its expansion. That was Distilled. I know I said it wasn't a how to play, yet I kept rambling on and on about different things. I kind of wanted to explain like the flow of the game and how it all works together. I'll come on to say that this is typically not the type of game that is in my wheelhouse. Not that it's overly complex. It's just, I don't know. It's not a game that I'll think, oh yeah, that's something that I should have on my shelf. I need that. All that being said, and the fact that I know next to nothing about alcohol, so I don't really imbibe very often. Not there's anything wrong with that. Imbibe if you want to, but that's for me and my house. But that's do you. But I'll do you as I do me. But yes, I don't know anything about alcohol really. All these things, all the rambling. I like this game. I don't think you really need to know a whole lot about alcohol or all that kind of stuff to like it. It's just fun. Yes, it can be frustrating when you think you have the right sugars and everything else, and you shuffle it up, move the top and the bottom card, and you're like, vodka or moonshine again. But that's the game. That was honestly my first experience with it. I was very frustrated with it because I felt like all I could ever really make was moonshine and vodka over and over again. But then I learned subsequent plays and the solo mode really. Hedge those bets. Try to put more stuff, put more things in the pantry in there if possible, and just increase the odds and the chances of making something other than vodka and moonshine. So, yes. Anyway, so I know, yes. So my first impression was like, okay, the components are fantastic. I'm pissed off I couldn't make brandy or anything else, but that's the game. That's just, there's no guarantee you're going to be successful in making anything. And this game does a good job of recreating that feeling of just, you had the right ingredients. It just didn't work out. Try again. Try again that round. Try again another round. Try again another game. Just try again. And yeah, the components. Fantastic components. I mean, they put so much thought into, I'm not really big on theme. Like, theme is like, okay, cool. Cats. I like cats. I have a cat. I like cats. Theme is cool. But like, I respect the crap out of what they put their foot in this game. Like, they really thought like, what are we going to do to make this, to flesh this out, to really stick to the theme and just have integrity with it. It has so much, it's just theme everywhere. Theme just bursting out the box. It's just theme. And then the expansion, just adding more of everything. And then those double cards of like double resources and stuff. It's good stuff. Like I said, you don't have to know anything about alcohol. You don't drink. It's a fun game. If you like good games that just little pressure luck, but also some strategizing, and you don't have a whole lot of anything. You're trying to just you're like just getting by in a lot of the game. There's only 7 rounds, so you don't have a whole lot of time to do anything. But if you think things through and work with what you have, really good time playing Distilled. So Aaron recommends. I dig. So I still don't really want to imbibe, but I will play this game. So that's it. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Be blessed.